Viking power.
Hello everybody, this is Viking Power, aka Uncle Kent, and this is not my kitchen, but in a few minutes we'll be in the kitchen. I'll be cooking up a little something for you. And so in this episode I'm going to be dealing with a few things. I'll be dealing with some food. I'm going to be making a brunch. It looks pretty yummy. I'll be making a frittata, and I'm going to go through the steps of that whole thing. And then I'll be talking about some whiskey and cigars as well, as I promised. And then there's going to be some cat and raccoon wrangling and whispering stories at the end. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Hey guys, it's Viking Power, and I'm doing a little cooking in the kitchen today. I saw this guy on YouTube, I think he's Sam the Cooking Guy, had some really good ideas using stuff in your own kitchen. And so I'm going to try to make a frittata or a giant omelet. I don't know. We'll see how it ends up. The ingredients I got so far is I got one jalapeno, some garlic, onion, got a big old onion here. I'm going to put a little tomato in it. And the key ingredient here that I'm really excited about is some Spam. I'm going to cube this stuff up, and I'm going to put it in the iron skillet, and I'm going to cook it up nice brown, and I'm going to put it in either the giant omelet, open-faced omelet, and or in the frittata. We'll see what I come up with. The garlic and the jalapenos, can you put that in? And I just want to let these suckers caramelize, get cooked up real good, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. But putting butter in there, that's key for me, and especially good butter. Hartzler's salted butter roll. It's worth the money. Put a little salt and pepper in that onion, jalapeno, garlic combo. And I'm going to just let that caramelize and cook a little. So this is about as much caramelization I want with the onions. And now I'm going to add in the Spam. Here's what I want to do with the Spam right now is I want to let it cook in with the onions and let it get brown before I put it in the frittata type of thing. So that's how I'm kind of wanting my Spam and onion and garlic and jalapeno mix to look and get all getting kind of caramelized. The meat's getting brown. I got 12 eggs ready to put that into an iron skillet and put this all together. I'm going to put in the tomatoes and a little bit of pepper jack from Jerry's Meat Market. It's the best pepper jack around. Tomato and the cheese. And I'm going to let that cook in with the Spam and the onions, the jalapenos, the garlic, and the egg. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. I have the oven on like at 300. And I'm going to just kind of eyeball it and see when it looks done. The beauties of an iron skillet is you can just cook it on the stovetop and throw that sucker in, and it makes food good. So this is finished product. I just took it out of the oven, and I've been trying to break away the little seal on the edges of it, and I'm going to let it cool here for a little bit, and I'm going to give it a shot at trying to take this thing and put it on a plate so it's more presentable. Now for the finished product. I got that little sucker out of the iron skillet with no help and just slid it right over. I just put a little butter on the iron skillet to keep it lubricated, and that sucker slid right out real nicely. So that's what it looks like. I put it on a nice plate. I'm going to cut it like in triangles, and I'm going to serve it, and I'll show you the finished product on the plate. Here's the finished product on the plate. I got the frittata. I got some mishi bread from Dorothy Lane Market with some really good butter, the Hartzell butter, and some grape jam. Can't go wrong with that. And got the squash cup too, with some good coffee in it. So, bon appetit. I forgot the most important thing, the taste test. And here we go. Holy crap, that's good. In this next part of the episode, I'm going to be dealing with a little bit of drinking, some Murphy's Irish Stout. I'm going to be dealing with a bourbon, a really good bourbon, and that is the Jefferson Reserve Pritchard Hill Cabernet Cask. That stuff is legit. It's pretty high price for a bourbon, delicious, great cigar pairing. Highly recommend. I'll be dealing with a couple of cigars I talked about that I bought and I finally smoked, and I'm gonna tell you about them as I'm smoking them. The Millennium, the Flor de las Antillas, both brought to you by the Wharf that hooked me up, and I ordered them and they sent them to me a little while back, and I'm about ready to make another run over to there. I think they might have opened up for curbside pickup at this point. Going Irish on you. Yeah, that good stuff. We've been eating really, really good today, as everyone should. You know, that was poor man's food for breakfast, but it was outstanding. You don't have to be super fancy, you just got to put some love into the food. I miss Anthony Bourdain. That guy understood that. That's why he'd visit like ordinary people all over the globe. He'd go into their kitchens so often, and the best food so often was from those kinds of places, you know, where, you know, people, moms and grandmas, people pouring their heart into the food. That's all it needs. Whatever you got in the kitchen, whatever you got in your home, put your heart and soul into it. You know, put your heart and soul into that Murphy's. It's not that expensive, and pretty low calorie, those stouts. You know, kind of almost like light beers. So, hey, enjoy, folks. What's up, folks? This is Viking Power. I said I was going to smoke some cigars, and I'm smoking that Millennium. And Patrick's filming me right now, and he's smoking the Liga, because all we smoking is quality. No stinky cigars out here. We're gonna smoke the good stuff. My little look at that. Look at the head on that sucker, man. That's one of the ways you know you have a good cigar. I'm Basil Hayden. This is a really, really good cigar. High quality. Like no bitterness. The smoke stays sweet the whole time. Just let it go up your nose and it's sweet the whole time. I haven't smoked a cigar like that. So that's my review of the Millennium. Really good. Second cigar, Flor de las Antillas. Really good, really good. The Wharf hooked me up again with another good cigar. Good living, beautiful evening. Got the poncho on and the hoodie. My sister gave this to me. Probably looks like it's from Peru or something. I got another one, got from Argentina. I like this one though. It's white and shining like a knight, like me. Viking Power, looking westward in the evening. This is the Jefferson Reserve, first bourbon or whiskey I've had that's of that ilk. Had a lot of stuff in a rum cast, that Caribbean cast, that Balvenie. That's good stuff. This is really, really good. Great cigar pairing. Really good. It's got that sweet and bite. Goes beautifully with the cigar. Definitely has a little bit of a wine start and a beautiful whiskey finish. I recommend Jefferson Reserve. This, I gotta tell you, this is the best cigar smoking whiskey that I've had. A lot of people talk about smoking cigars with red wine. I've done that. It's very good. My favorite is with some kind of whiskey or scotch. This is the best one that I've drank with a cigar by far. After that, I'd put the Caribbean cask, Balvenie. I like a lot of whiskey with cigars, but that is the best combination. My recommendation. This next section of the video is going to be dealing with what I'm going to call the Raccoon and Cat Wrangling and Whispering story. Well, last Saturday night, we watched the fights, the UFC fights, and sports are back, thank you, Jesus. And we had a real good night. And then the next morning, I was feeling good, walking out to my front door, to my front porch, the other spot that I really love a lot other than the kitchen. And I open the door and I see to my right, little Uzi, my black cat. She's up on this little target that I sit on. She's sitting there, and I open the door. I look to my left, and the cat feeder and water dish are there, and all of a sudden I see looking up at me a raccoon. Looked huge, and it looks up at me and goes, this is like crazy, kind of caught me off guard, kind of scared me a little bit, and it looked huge and I kind of stepped back a little bit, and then I realized it wasn't a huge raccoon, it was two baby raccoons. Well, they weren't tiny babies. They're, about that big, but they were really young, and they were curled up behind the water dish and the food dish, just trying to find a place to sleep. Obviously got in the food that night, and I was pretty worried that there was a mama out there in the cat houses that I got. So I come out and I go shaking those cat houses, because I did earlier, like a year ago, I had a raccoon, a big old thing, curled up in the cat house. I thought it was one of my cats. It was a raccoon, and I scared him, and he took off running real fast. Well, these guys, these little babies, they were kind of worried and pretty scared, and so I didn't see any mom, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get these guys off the porch, and I couldn't figure out any way to get them off the porch because they didn't want to go. So I had to get I got them off the porch. Let's put it this way. I didn't use any cruel methods to get them off the porch, and I didn't want to harm them or anything, but boy, they didn't want to go. So I got like a snow shovel, and I put it on the snow shovel, and just kind of like one of those wide plastic ones. And I got it on there, and the other one of them ran, and the other one just kind of hung on there, and the one ran under the car, and then the other one was hanging and hissing, and then he fell off, and then I'd have to get him on there again, and he's hissing, and then go make this little noise. Is crazy. So it was like the devil and a little baby angel, both in one little animal. So I got it, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go put it over by the tree. I got this evergreen tree, and I said I'll put it in the bottom there and let it just kind of chill out there. And hopefully the brother or sister under the car would go over to the tree and they'd meet up. Well, anyway, that raccoon didn't want to leave. It stayed there, and the other one was under the car. And I said, we got to get under the car, get out from under the car. And so we moved the car and got that thing, and then we chased it with a shovel, trying to get it away from the house, because I didn't want to have to, I wanted the thing to live. I didn't want to have to, do the country thing that you do with varmints and all that stuff. So I just kind of scooted it way out on the driveway to an evergreen tree there. But then there's a problem. The problem was the brother and sister were separated. And man, I kind of felt bad, and everybody's like feeling bad, other than Patrick. But anyway, so we kind of, we were going to let them just kind of figure it out. Well, a day goes by, next day they're still out there. And so, and actually the next day, the one that was closest, that was by the tree closest to the house, he came over and came by the house again. And I said, oh crap, man, if he doesn't get out in a day or so, I'm going to probably have to do something and take harsher measures. But then a day goes by, and I go and look out all over the property, and both of them are gone. So brother and sister, brother and brother, whatever, missing a mama, feel bad for them, but I think they're going to make it, and they figure it out. We saved them from this area. So that's my cat wrangling and whispering story. The cats didn't seem too worried. They've seen him before. My cat's Jack about had the white and yellow one about had his head bit off, and he used to be a wild child going all over the place, and he stays at home now. He doesn't want anything to go. Pablo Escobar, the black and white, the gray and white, this dude is a wild child. He's gone for a week at a time, comes back at night. He about lost an eye. I don't know what did it, but it doesn't keep him at home, not yet. So maybe someday he'll chill out and be, a cat that sticks around the house here. So that's my cat wrangling and whispering, and raccoon wrangling and whispering story. A little raccoon. Two of them, his little baby sibling was up on my front porch this morning, just chilling with little Uzi the cat. That little sucker was scared to death. I think their mama must have died somewhere, so we scooted them off, and hopefully they will roam somewhere else tonight. I don't have to deal with them, but that's country living. Little Uzi, she's just chilling with the coons. She ain't afraid. What do you think, little kitty? Little crazy cat. Little Pablito. Pablo Escobar and Jack Attack. Doing stuff. Doing their thing. Little bros. Pablo wanted to go wilding. Look at that one-eyed dude. He's been going for a good week or so. Jack says, I've had enough of that after my head got about bit off by some coyote or something. He says, no, I'm going to stay home. Well, hope you had fun in this episode. I did. I know I did. Smoking cigars, drinking some good bourbon, some good whiskey, eating really good food, and also wrangling the raccoon and the cat. So I had a really good time. Hope you did too. Cheers. Take it easy.